Well, hello there. It's so great to see you. I hope I find you well. I'm Jennifer Kirk, welcoming you up here to Weir Yard. And in this video, I want to talk you through 3 of the most common reasons that these failed locomotives get returned, and just want to show you easy fixes that you can do yourselves to actually sort out these issues should they arrive. Today's video comes in association with Trainomatic, makers of DCC decoders and accessories that are designed by enthusiasts for enthusiasts. Find the full range available to order now at tramfabrique.co.uk. Additional support comes from Rails of Sheffield. Sell to the name you know and trust. Buy, sell or exchange any age or any gauge. Call them now for the very best price. Check them out today at the link below. Now, the failed locomotive is offered with 2 different livery versions, and actually the only differences between the 2 is the livery and the black one has this extra coupling rod piece between the 2 sets of cranks, which the green one does not have. Mechanically, they are both identical, so whatever I show you on one is equally applicable to the other. I'm going to be putting the locomotive into a DCC Concepts service cradle, and this is just a great way to hold the locomotive steady without jeopardizing any of the detail, and gives you a good stable working environment. For this we're going to need only 2 different tools, and one of these is a jeweler's screwdriver, a fairly small crosshead, and I've got a pair of needle nose pliers as well. First up, what I want to do is to remove the brake rigging, and for anybody who's got loose brake rigging, I will be showing you how to fix this later on in this video. But for now, we're just going to unclip these. They plug in and clip in place with 2 holes each. And then I'm going to use a small plastic container. It's actually the lid from my jeweler's screwdrivers. And this is simply so we've got somewhere to put screws as we take them off the keeper plate. Now there are 6 screws holding this in place. You can see 2 at each end plus 2 in the middle. And with a small jeweler's screwdriver, we're just going to take each of these out. Now, as a handy hint for you, just to make life a lot easier, you can magnetize your screwdriver by just touching them to some neodymium type magnets, and these are sold by DCC Concepts quite cheaply as part of their power base accessories, and it really does make your life a lot easier because it makes the screwdriver kind of hold on to the screw, and it's a bit like having an extra helping hand. So we're just going to move all of these out of the way. And I should warn you that the keeper plate is also held in place by 2 wires that are soldered to it. And this actually means that you can't remove the keeper plate entirely without damaging those solder joints, and they would then need to be resoldered. But to do that, you would have to feed wire back down through the locomotive, and that becomes a huge job. So I'm going to show you how to do this without risking the 2 wires, which you can just about make out there, which attach just to the underside here. With all of the screws removed, I'm just going to turn this around and then just very, very carefully lift up the keeper plate without pulling on these. You do not want to snap that solder joint. These are the pickups, and probably by far one of the most common complaints is intermittent running, and that will be these not fully touching the wheel backs and basically just making it a little bit more unreliable on current collection. Adjusting these pickups is really easy, and I'm going to be using the needle nose tweezers. You just simply bend these outwards. They are springy, they're made of a kind of phosphor bronze. And we can bend that one out and that one out. And then I'm going to turn this around. And again, down this side, bend them out, bend them out, bend them out, bend them out. And this just means by doing this, so they go past the wheels, you can get a lot more spring into them, and that just makes sure that they will permanently make contact to the inside leading edges of these wheels. Once we've done that, it's just simply a case of feeding them back in, just very carefully with the needle nose pliers. Just get them back in behind these wheels. So I've done that side. Let's turn it around and just manipulate these back into place. And that one, and a final one. And then just slide the keeper plate back down, and then we secure it back into place. And you'll now find that if you had intermittent running problems with pickups, this should, in 99.9% of all cases, resolve that issue. And as you can see, it's really simple. You don't need any special tools, just a little bit of care and attention, and if I can do it, anybody can do it. With all 6 screws in place, we now come to refit that brake rigging, and this is probably the second most common reason that these were getting returned, is that these were not staying put on the underside of the model. Now you can put a little bit of glue on each of these lugs, but I'm going to show you a little trick that works really well. And all we're going to need for this is a pair of needle nose pliers, and what we're doing there is we're squishing that little nubbin on the end. It's an oval shape, and if you orientate your needle nose pliers this way and just squeeze ever so slightly, we're making it more oval than it was. And then orientating this, note the orientation. Both of these are exactly the same, but they're inserted onto the model 180 degrees apart from each other. Refit the center spigot first, line it with the hole and push until you hear a click, and then line up the second, push, click. If yours are loose and hang down catching your track, this little trick with the needle nose pliers is all you need to do to fix these. Squeeze and carefully squeeze, and all we're squeezing is the very tip. You're not squeezing the full assembly, just the tip, making it more oval. Again, refitting from the center first, click and click, and there you have it. Your brake rigging is in. Another easy fix on the brake rigging that really you can do yourself quite readily, and this removes any need to send the locomotive back. The third fix is one where people have reported differing back-to-backs, and this leads into some issues that people have had where during running the wheels sometimes slip off the axle, and this is because they've not been pushed all the way in for some reason. So all you need to do is gently squeeze each pair of wheels, and you'll hear that click. Some of them click, some of them don't. There, moved. That one didn't need it. And you're pushing these wheels firmly onto the axle. You can test that there's no problem with the bushings by taking your thumbs like this, and don't force, but just gently try and counter rotate the pairs of wheels. If they're firm, they're fine. And your wheel back-to-backs should now be absolutely fine. This will also help the pickups because your wheels are slightly closer together because they're in gauge. And this will also stop any risk of these wheels drifting off the axles and causing these cranks to go out of alignment. And that is a really simple fix. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and found it informative, and by all means share this video to let others know about these really simple maintenance fixes for your KR models FEL. Until next time, you take care of yourself and happy modelling. From me, Jenny Kirk, bye for now. Today's video is sponsored by Trainomatic, makers of DCC decoders designed to be fully compatible with every manufacturer's locomotive. Visit train-o-matic.com to browse the full range and see what they've got suitable for you. Additional support comes from Rails of Sheffield. Sell to the name you know and trust. Family-run business purchasing collections for over 50 years. From single items to lifetime collections, no collection is too small or too big. Buy, sell or exchange, any age or any gauge. Rails will take everything: locos, coaches, wagons, track work, controllers, accessories. In fact, they'll take absolutely everything and certainly will not cherry pick the best items. Rails are only a phone call away. Call them now for the very best price and get instant cash payment or same-day transfer. Check them out today at the link below. I'd like to send out a huge thanks to everybody who supports me on Patreon, and an extra special huge thanks goes out to Anthony Kidson, Offshore Allen, Michael Lockie, Helen Sink, Gary Lewis, David Quinn, Sparky 107107, George Botterini, Chris Moss, Robert Steers, Sam Yates, Dale Williams, John N from NC, NYMRish, Jonathan Foster, Peter, Clifford Ison, Larry W. Grant, NI Railways 4000 class, Ian Coulson, Alan Dickerson, Eddie Papere, Karen Nichol, Medwin Williams, Crossways Point Junction, 3B Rail, Jennifer Horton, and James Beckett. Thank you. Without you guys, I couldn't do this.